with a new Philadelphia Eagle. What's up, man? Who are you? Introduce yourself, man.
What's good? What's up, y'all? Tristin Mccollum, was former Houston Texan, now Philadelphia Eagle.
You feel me?
First and foremost, friend of Tev.
Hey, IDK Tevdidit. Go ahead and hit that sub button and like the video by the end of the content if you like what you see. But what's up, man? How you doing, B?
Man? Good. Off season starting, even though it's Super Bowl Sunday today.
Super Bowl Sunday. Who you think's gonna win it? Who you think's gonna win it, man?
Eagles by default.
I think by default. I think you gotta pick the Eagles, bruh. Mm-hmm. But how you think it's gonna shape up? Give us a score of the game.
Man, I think it's gonna be a good game. Ultimately, I think the Eagles have the best overall team. I think their defense is solid, and their offense has been rolling all season. I think it should be a good scoring game. I'm going to say 31-21 Eagles.
Okay. It's like with me, I don't know if Pat could do it with the high ankle sprain. I know they're going to give him that shot, and he ain't going to feel a thing, but it's just the Eagles' defense is nasty.
It's stiff.
And you finna add on to that next season, bro?
We got to keep that.
How you feel about that, bro? What was going through your mind whenever they called you and said, hey, we want you to be a part of our organization?
Man, it was big. It was a lot at the moment, too, because just of the timing of everything and how invested I was with the Texans and how much they were invested with me. So it was a lot coming at me at once, but I've grown up an Eagles fan. I was an Eagles fan since I could even remember. And so to get that call, it still almost doesn't feel real, even though, that's how everything goes until you start getting in the flow of it.
Yeah. So with that, how would you say you started preparing yourself for the transition? How have you been preparing yourself already for the transition to go to Philly? It's much different up there than it is down here in Texas. Houston, it's all muggy, humid. Philly, I don't know about it in the summertime, but like winter Philly, are you ready for wintertime Philadelphia?
Yeah, see, I don't even know the answer to that question. Mentally, I'll be ready. Physically, we're going to have to get used to that cold.
That cold's going to be a different beast, man.
It's been cold the past couple of weeks, though, so I've been trying to get acclimated, even though, we're going to go through summer first and then hit winter, but it's just all little things to prepare.
Are you ready for that Philadelphia Eagle fan trash talk?
Man, see, I'm ready to be on the inside of that. The Philly fans are crazy unless you playing for them. So I'm ready for that love. But
it's just you can't start messing up with the Eagles. Do you think the fans put more pressure on you with the teams that you could possibly go to?
They definitely apply pressure, especially if you're talking about in-game. Like, the fans bring a whole nother dynamic. Like, it really wouldn't be a game how, it is without the fans. The fans just bring so much energy. But then on the flip side, the fans can make a lot of pressure just because, everyone has social media and everyone can connect with anybody. And, you have one game that, exactly, you got a bunch of fans coming at you, which you don't want. But, it's good to just put the blinders on and channel all that stuff out.
So with putting the blinders on and channeling the stuff out, have you had to channel some stuff already with your venture through the league?
See, me personally, not too much, because I was on practice squad all year.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have too much pressure of playing the game and playing on Sundays. But I've learned from other people's experiences and just seeing it firsthand with my brother and with my teammates that stuff is pretty intense. You have to have a way that you can handle it.
So how would you say you prepared yourself for just being on the practice squad and then after the 53-man roster was made, just still being on the practice squad and accepting what was going on at the moment?
It was tough, but I was kind of already prepared for this just because I felt like I've been through similar things in my past. And so I accepted it off rip. And, I was just so grateful for the opportunity that I really just wanted to go into the year as long as I was on practice squad and as long as I didn't have that pressure on me, I was going to take full advantage of just learning the game, learning more about myself, and just taking every day as a new opportunity to learn and get even deeper into this football world.
Yeah. So I feel like with being on practice squad, it's almost not necessarily easier because you are still fighting every day to have a job in the league, but you get more time to perfect your craft in a sense than being a first round pick and just being straight thrown into it. You got to learn the offense. You got to be ready to go because we might need you right now, opposed to being on the practice squad where they're saying this will just be a learning curve for maybe next year, like this year with the Eagles when we're ready for you to make the 53 man.
Exactly.
But just being on practice squad, I feel like it allows you to humble yourself and just slow it down because I know the league does move at a fast pace. Have you started getting oriented with the Eagles defense yet?
I have, and with the Texans, like staying on practice squad all season, like I've learned so much. I thought I used to know about football. Now I can say with confidence that I know a little bit. And so second go around, I'm already familiar with the NFL and how they roll. I started to answer your question, get familiar with the Eagles defense and what they do a little bit, but everyone kind of does the same thing, just calls it a different thing, and may have a couple pieces moved around. So it's been going good,
So with that, what would you say was the best decision that you made while being on the practice squad for the Texans, just mentally?
Mentally, just accepting where I was, because you can't really move forward, I feel, until you've accepted where you are currently.
Yeah.
And so just accepting where I was so that I can make the most of every opportunity, that's what it was. Because I knew that my time wasn't my time wasn't now, but I know that time is coming.
Oh, yeah.
And so I have to be ready for that time. I don't have to be ready for right now just because it's not happening right now, but I can prepare myself for when that opportunity does come.
So for the people, what does some of that preparation look like physically and mentally? What are some of the things you got to go through to prepare yourself to go out and do the damn thing,
Every day, day in and day out. You definitely have to take care of your body. But first and foremost, the one thing that you need to have is just a routine.
Yeah.
If you can have a routine, then that's almost like your backbone. That's something that you can fall back on every single day, something that even if you wake up and you don't feel like doing it, you kind of already have step by step, kind of your day. So you don't really have to try. Your body kind of already naturally goes towards that. If you have a routine, then it just makes everything so much easier on the mind, on the emotions, body.
So when would you say you've started making this routine or getting these things in place? Would you say high school, college, as an adult now? When would you say you started just mentally transforming into the person that you wanted to be?
It's been through a couple stages of life. I would say the routine didn't really get going fully until I actually got to the NFL, just because I didn't even really know too much about it. And they started teaching us a bunch of things about a routine and making sure you get on one. But I mean, the mental progress has been, throughout college and, throughout high school with our mom always being there and being hard on us. But that is the most important thing, I think. You got to get your mind right before you can start getting other things in life.
If you can't get your mind in check, you can't do a lot of things. If you can't just sit there and think about the reality of what you're doing now, if you're always thinking about the future, if you're always thinking about the past, you're never really gonna get anywhere because you'll never be able to get to those places. You physically cannot put yourself in the future. You physically can never go back to the past. So being able to understand and just accept where you're at right now and the things that you're doing at the moment can and will lead you in a better way to success, I feel like. What are 2 things of advice you would give to the younger generation trying to hustle their way up to the league and trying to grind their way out through football or just any sport?
Shoot, 2 of my biggest things, I would say, for one, discover your why. You need to discover your why, and this doesn't even it doesn't have to be for football. It can be for any walk of life. Discover your why, because when things get hard and when things get challenging, that's what you can fall back on. That's what reminds you and it grounds you, balances you, so that you can continue to go after what you want to go after. So always know your why. And then after that, besides a routine, you want to get your, like we were talking about, you want to get your like mind ready and prepared for what you want to bring to the table. So it's like any like past trauma that you're dealing with, you want to heal from all of that and accept where you are.
Just
And
be
after
able
that,
to.
just understand that your emotions and your thoughts are two things that you want to have in your control.
Yep.
Because if you're just
Nobody
letting,
else's.
exactly, if you're just like letting like the world and other people, kind of control where those are, then you won't feel like you have much control in your life, and you won't really feel like you have much control to do the things that you want to do. But
I
as
feel
long as
like
you keep those in
that's-
check, you can go.
I feel like that's hard though, with getting bigger and bigger roles of life and of your career, because the higher you get in status, the more eyes that are going to get put on you. So how do you put to the side the opinions and the eyes of all the other people watching you and just focus on you and your mind and your growth?
That's tough because, especially in this growing age where everyone is gaining more empathy and more awareness of everyone around us, and everyone has heavy influence.
Heavy influence.
I think it goes back to that why, because your why may not include all of these people. Like, you're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your family, you're doing it for the things that you care about most. And I think if you just focus on the things you care about most and just let all the other things pass like the wind, then you're in a good spot.
So what is your why?
My why, it's my family, of course, the future that I want and envision for my family. I care about so much, and I want it for myself,
Yeah.
first and foremost, and, like God, I'm really big on God and higher power, whatever you want to call it. And so I would say that's probably my biggest why. And, I feel like the more you can keep your why into something in your control,
Yeah.
then like the harder you're gonna fight for it, because you don't fight for anything harder than you fight for yourself.
Literally. And it's just like with everybody's respected career choice or just decision in general, like you have to know your why. For me, like my why is, of course, like you said, my family, my spirituality, and myself. But I've started growing my why to be more based on me, because you have to. And it's not necessarily being selfish. It's just focusing on you, because nobody else is going to get you to the places that you want to go except for you. Of course,
Exactly.
your family can help you, your friends can help you by giving you advice and giving you things that you should do or you shouldn't do, but ultimately it's up to you in and of yourself to pursue those actions and to live those things out. Like my why, just my mom and my sister, my grandma, just my whole family, just doing it. So not even necessarily that I could buy everybody a house or buy everybody a car when I make it in video content and content creation, but just so I can make a name for us and I could show everybody what a glimpse of me and my family is like, just to make them proud, to make my friends proud. That's what keeps me going, to always want to just be better, to put out better videos, to make better podcasts, to be a better person in general, to always want to keep people smiling, because my what is just, I just don't want my heart to change. I've always been a generous, giving person, a loving person, and if I do end up gaining status in content creation, I don't want that to ever change. I don't want the fame to change me. I always want to be the same Tev that you're talking to right now, 10 years later from now, talking about like, hey bro, I'm still so proud of you. Like even now, like I'm proud of you for everything that you're doing in the league, everything that you did in college, everything that you're going to do. But I just want to always be that way and to always be able to show that, because I feel like the world's lacking it almost. And not that I want to be different or I just want to do all of these things. I just want to be me. And with that, how would you say just being yourself fuels you and helps you in the league right now?
Man, it's everything, because when you go in there, you really, all you do is you got yourself, because everyone, at the end of the day, everyone returns to the voice in their head. And so if you aren't completely comfortable with that person, if you haven't aren't completely loving that person, then, you know, there's going to be adversity that you go through that is going to be tough to come out of. But if you always have your back, if you're always being yourself, then you really don't have to worry about anything, because everything that is meant for you will come to you as long as you're being yourself.
They say depression and sadness comes the most when you're trying to be somebody other than yourself, when you're trying to please in ways that you can't handle.
Exactly.
And I went through that in college playing football. I was trying to be something other than myself. And yes, I was making positive steps, but I was also taking a lot of negative steps because I was getting away from myself and getting away from the work that I put in and the dedication that I wanted to have to football. And it affected me to the point where I had to stop playing. And I'm appreciative that I had to go through those things. And that's the thing. Like, I used to fight it and I used to be upset about me not being able to play ball anymore. But then I finally sat down and just thought about, it just wasn't my thing. It's not on my path. And now it's been able to bless me with the ability to get to content creation and to support my homies in the league that are doing it, because we're all going to make it in our respected career choices. You just have to be able to understand, like, sometimes things aren't going to work out for you, but that doesn't mean that's it. That doesn't mean that was your peak and you're never going to go back up again. That just means that you're going to hit a little stalemate for a little bit. And then you'll go right back up to finding what you're meant to do.
Exactly.
Have you had any days like that, any moments like that where you were just beat up and you just had to find that motivation to keep going?
Man, definitely. And that's just like comes with life. You know, you got to charge that to the game. You know, life isn't all ups. It isn't every ups. If like we were perfect and this world was perfect, then, you know, we wouldn't be capable of changing. We wouldn't be capable of growth. But so this life, it comes with ups and downs, but you have to learn from both equally. Like, you can't let the downs get you down. You have to learn from the downs, because the downs are what send you even farther up than anything ever could. And I've, you know, gone through a bunch of things where I didn't know if I was like following the right path. I didn't know if I was meant to do this in front of me. But at the end of the day, I feel that everything that you are meant to do will be revealed to you in time.
Absolutely.
As long as you just stay where your 2 feet are, stay in the moment, and be aware of what's going on around you. You know, learn from those downs. You know, don't be mad or ask why me, because I'm telling you, the biggest teacher in this life isn't some 5th grade teacher, isn't some professor. The biggest teacher in life is you.
And experience.
Is experience.
Yes.
Exactly. It's the experiences that you go through.
I feel that. So with that experience, how much experience have you gained being just on the practice squad for the Texans?
I feel like I've gained a lot, even though it hasn't been as much physical in-game reps. You know, looking at everything from an outside perspective and almost from like a bird's eye view, you can pick up on so many things and you can learn from really everybody. So I've learned from all of my teammates, you know, even other players on other teams, Zion, when he comes and tells me his experiences. So I've learned an insane amount, and I feel like it's just going to propel me into the rest of my career.
And with that experience, what's the most gratifying experience you've gone through just being with the Texans so far?
Man, just being able to be a part of the team and then being on practice squad, seeing that I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the most gratifying, just to be able to be accepted and to still be like humbled in a sense to where, you know, you were really good, or at least you thought you were, and now you're, you know, thrown into the fire in a little bit. You gain perspective, and it's humbling, but, you know, it's gratifying first and foremost.
Being from that first day you walked in the facility, I asked your brother this, from the first day of the facility to now, even though you're not necessarily with the Texans anymore, how have you changed as a player and as a man?
Man, I feel like I've, you know, increased my own will, you know, which is just the energy to like do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like I have more energy, I'm more vibrant, and I just feel like I'm more focused. Like, I'm really like determined and really like, blinders
Just
on.
locked into it.
Yeah, just locked in and focused on what I want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And, those two go hand in hand, because if you match the will with the focus, then
You'll get a
whatever
long
you
way.
can think, you can achieve. I do believe in that.
You already know. Who would you say has been the best, like, one-on-one, just technical rep that you've gotten? Who's been the most competitive person you've gone against in the league so far?
Man, just piggybacking like off my teammates, there's Brandon Cooks. Obviously,
Brandon Cooks like that?
He's like that.
Brandon Cooks like that. I remember when he was a Saint, bro. I used to love Brandon Cooks. I was so mad when we traded him. Fast, he could catch too. Like he like that.
And his mindset is completely different. Like, it's all focused. It's almost like when you look him in his eyes when he's focused, you're like looking into like the eyes of like a lion or something. Like he just gives off that aura. Like,
hungry.
That he's put in an insane amount of work. The confidence that he has isn't something that he's built mentally, but it's something that he's proven to himself through the physical things that he's done, and it's just carrying. But also, a rookie I came in with, Jalen Petrie, he's an insane player, insanely good guy, and he's taught me an insane amount. And it's his first year in the league. I strongly believe that he's going to be one of the best safeties in the league in the next couple of years. But he's competitive as hell, has a great mindset. And it's guys like that you want on your team.
Just being competitive with each other, just being able to say, like, hey, I'm going to be better than you today.
Exactly.
Like, and him being able to say right back, nah, dog, I'm going to be better than you today.
Exactly.
Like,
laugh at the mistakes, pick each other up, and get back on.
And then just grow a brotherhood with that. That's the amazing thing about football to me. Just it unites so many people, from the players to the coaches, from the coaches to the owners, from the owners to the fans, or even people that aren't fans that just want to come to a game just to experience it. By the end of it, they're hugging each other, they're high-fiving random people. Like, football brings so many people together. Like, it's such an amazing sport to see it how it is, because even with being on the same team as people, being in the same position as people, you get to go against somebody every day and then still look them in the face and say, like, I love you, dog. Like, I'm so happy we're on the same team. Like, that's amazing to me.
And that's why I love football so much, because I just feel like football and life are so alike in that way, and to where it's like just about unity. We're all in this together, and we're all like, we all came from different walks of life. We all had different upbringings, but we can all come together and share our experiences and grow together.
So what with that is the best experience you've had so far being a fucking NFL player, dog? Like, what's that life like outside of football? Like, what's that life like, bro?
Well, me, I'm already, I'm like a pretty chill person. So I don't really do too much, but life outside of the football, it's fun. You meet a whole bunch of new people, and it's almost like me being a rookie and coming in. It's almost like how we were when we were freshmen going into Sam Houston. Like, you have like the bigger brothers that kind of show you the ropes, show you how life can be lived, and
show you what it could be if you work hard and you just set your mind to being the greatest.
Exactly.
Like, I know, because everybody always looks at NFL players like, oh, I know their life's crazy. They're doing all this stuff. Like, you get all the money and the glory and the TV, like the TV time, but you also have to put in the hard work for that. So with the last thing, what is one bit of advice, like hard working wise, you would give to somebody in your shoes or about to be in your shoes?
So I would just, first and foremost, I would say get your mind right, because, again, like all the stuff we were talking about, understand your why and develop a routine and learn, like, the game. Because if you can understand why things are moving the way they're moving, why plays are ran a certain way, then you can take that to the field and just be a step ahead, like be in the loop.
Just let it translate straight to it.
But really the biggest thing, especially for like people that aren't in the league yet and are trying to get there, you just need to take it day by day. You can, peek ahead to let that motivate you, but don't let that distract you from what you got going right now.
All the things that could happen that haven't happened yet distract you from what's going on right now.
Exactly. Like, you don't want to let that stress yourself out, because that'll eat you alive like a monster.
Yeah.
You just want to take it day by day and just do all the little things, because if you focus on the little things, sooner or later, that's going to amount to something that's really big.
So with that, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much to the new Philadelphia Eagle. And we're going to watch him, keeping up with him as he goes out and tries to make that 53, man. We know you're going to do it, man. Thank you so much for coming out to the podcast with me today, man.
Appreciate you for having me. And, I want to give one shout out, and that's to my boy Ted. He doing his thing. We've been, day ones ever since we met.
They're my boy, for real.
Man, Ted going to do some big things, y'all. Y'all keep on showing love. And, man, we going to take it as far as, God will let us.
Hey, big things coming from the channel. Big things coming from my boy. Thank y'all so much for watching. Drop a comment at the bottom of the video for the best thing y'all heard in the podcast. And you know what I'm going to say today? Turn on them post notifications so you can see. You can always see when IDK Tev makes another drop. So with that, thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see y'all next time. Peace out. We desire a lot of things here, but the main thing is knowledge.